T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women share to be bold and take risks. The talks. Women say what they feel and mean what
a moment there.
I think it was a really long
Leaving
week
your
this week.
power, so much power. Yeah. The talks where women share.
What's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? If you're catching us live, hello. If you're catching us on the replay, hello as well. Go ahead and hashtag replay if you're catching us on the replay. We're excited. We got a lot of things to talk about tonight. Vault Talks Women Share in the building. If you're new, welcome. This is a platform where women come together to learn more and share more about matters that pertain to their world. We talk about entrepreneurship, ways to be empowered as women, relationships, personal development, fashion, you name it, we gotcha. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to monetize and recognize your genius. And so very important topic tonight for so many reasons. One of the things I was sharing with the ladies backstage, and sometimes that's why we be late, y'all. I can be honest. That's why we be late sometimes. We be talking behind the scenes and backstage, catching up because, you know, we do this show weekly or bi-weekly whenever the Lord sees fit. And there's so many things that are going on within our personal worlds that we get to share with all of you guys. And so we catch up behind the scenes. And it's really neat to have women who believe in pouring and sharing the way that these women do. And they're not the growth spurt, the mind reset strategist, and even myself, the identity architect, just to have a fancy title. Tonight, we get to talk about how to recognize and monetize our genius. So let's start this way. For those of you who may be new to the show, I want my amazing queens on this platform to introduce themselves and talk a little bit about who they are. So we're going to start with the growth spurt. Share a little bit about who you are with the people.
Well, hello, peeps. My name is Michaela Perry, aka the Growth Spurt. I am a lot of things. No, I am blessed right now. No, what I do is I'm in the insurance field. I've been an underwriter for the past 20 years. I actually also teach insurance ethics online. I am learning how to be a coach. I am going through all that lovely process right now, and it's so beautiful. But honestly, I am here just spreading my love and my light, sharing with everyone what I have learned on this journey, what we call life, and just trying to be a better person than what I was yesterday. So that's me.
Love it. Let's go to Jamaica. What we got going on in Jamaica?
Hey everyone, good night, afternoon, morning, depending on where you are in the world. I am Sharika's baby. Obviously, by now you know I'm from Jamaica. Well, I myself, I'm a coach as well. I am a spiritual alignment coach. So what I do is my job is to get your mind, body, and spirit working in one accord, so to speak. I also host a show called Conversations with Sharika on Instagram. That's a live show. My guest today was mind blowing, to say the least. But we talk about, we share stories of triumph where people have gone through grave situations and have managed to come back from that. And we also share stories of expertise, people who have particular expertise about different areas of life. It's always about edification. So we share those stories in an effort to help people realize, to give hope, to give hope. Yeah, to give hope. That's essentially what it's about. I am also a f- I've published one book already, so I'm a published author. My book is called An Introduction to Freedom, and it kind of it's somewhat of a little bit off my coaching program. So the aim of the book is the same. And locally here, I am currently putting my foot out there, getting my feet wet, my toes wet, so to speak, speaking to local people about working with me through work through their depression or their anxiety, or just really to figure out what the next move is. So that's a little bit about me.
Amazing, amazing. Love, love, love it. So, as you guys can see, we have some really dope women that come week after week to share with you their world and how we can empower you with your walk and what's going on within your world, which is so important to all of us. And so, tonight's topic is how to recognize and monetize your genius. So, as I was sharing with the ladies, this is really a perfect time to tap into your genius. Some people are still on the path of figuring out what that looks like, which is perfectly fine. And we want to help you tonight, today, tomorrow, whenever, 5 years down the road, 29 years down the road, whenever you're catching this, that you can take your gifts, take your talents, and to monetize off of them. So, what I didn't share with the ladies, one of the things that made me land in this place was I was watching the news this morning. I try not to watch the news often. It's just so much going on in the world where, some things just aren't worth repeating. Some things are you just take it in prayer and keep it moving. And so, one of the things that I've been watching here lately, they've been talking about the airports and how they've been canceling tons of flights left and right, not due to COVID, but due to the fact that there's nobody to help. There's to low staffing issues. Um, and they're canceling flights because they don't have the help to help people get to one place to the other. And I thought it was interesting. And then the newscaster took us to a place, I think it was the UK, and they shared how the luggage backlog was totally backlogged. I'm talking about if you could think about a pile of garbage, right? Like the landfills, like that's how much luggage was backed up that needed to be tagged because there's nobody there to do it. So I say that because I really feel that we are in a day and age where people are shifting in a major way. People no longer want to work a 9 to 5, a traditional 9 to 5. They're figuring out, what do I want to do with my life? And a lot of that has been because of COVID. So let's start there. What do you guys think about that?
It's funny. Yes, COVID is what brought on the realization that we can do something different. We don't have to stick to this regime. But unfortunately, it's the inhumaneness of how people are treated that led to them even coming to this conclusion, right? Because people are not treated with any empathy. Someone has a family ill, they can't go home because they have to work. Your supervisor is horrible. No one, there's no laugh time, there's no play time. Everything is just rigidity, and it sucks the joy out of living. So essentially, that's what even before, even if COVID had come and people were being treated decently, we probably wouldn't have this mass um, resignation of people, moving on to different paths. But this gave them, COVID gave them the opportunity to choose something different. And who doesn't want something different? So that's that.
What you got, Michaela?
I feel that because I quit my job during COVID. But
Yeah.
no, but seriously though, I do believe that COVID definitely sparked or gaslined things. I really do feel like COVID happened for a lot of different reasons. And one of the reasons is for us to be still. And once we were able to be still, we started to realize like some of these things going on, we didn't need them.
Right.
Like since COVID, I don't get my nails done no more. Yeah, I miss them. Oh well, I don't need it. I don't
Wow.
get my toes done no more. I stopped wearing weave. I twisted my hair. There was a lot of things that COVID kind of opened my eyes to.
Wow.
So I do believe that, yeah, COVID definitely gaslighting that. So,
That's interesting that you went that direction with it. And one of the things that I've been paying attention to is just how people are figuring out whether they are Postmate, DoorDash, Instacart, Uber Eats, whatever that looks like, Amazon Flex. People are figuring out a way to create their own schedules to make their own money. And that's why we're seeing a lot of trends where you are going to a restaurant and you might not have the best service because there's no people to help you, have that best experience like it used to be, because people are now like, well, I figured it out. I don't want to do this and I can do this. And so that's why we're here tonight. We're talking about this topic because it's time for people to really figure out what they're great at. Now, granted, there are some people who need to work a 9 to 5. That's what they want to do. And they're perfectly okay with that. I applaud those people. And there's a lot of people out there. We need those type of people. But then there's those who are looking to monetize their own genius and become entrepreneurs, whether it's part time or full time, to supplement their income, to have those multiple streams, and they're stuck on where to start. So, one thing I want to share, and I share with all my clients, and then we're going to move into some more dialogue around this, is I say knowing who you are is a game changer. Make the decision to be dope, which is directed on purpose every day. And so a lot of times people don't know how to direct themselves in that area to really monetize their genius because they're being told, well, that sounds dumb. That's stupid. Why would you want to do that? Yeah, you're good at that, but so now you're taking a hobby and turning it into a full-time job. Like, we hear these things a lot. And it's to the point where we have to make that decision on, are we going to change our circle so we can really embrace the genius within us to monetize off of that? So let's start with that. For each one of you, what did it take for you to realize that working this typical 9 to 5 and just doing that wasn't enough? And so some of you watching this may have a 9 to 5. I don't like to call them side hustles. I like to call them, side streams that you're working on building, because your ultimate goal is to leave your job, or your ultimate goal is to have the side stream to create the retirement fund. So, Sharika, let's start with you. What was one of those motivations for you to be like, hey, I got something here. Let me build upon this and see where it goes?
All right. So my story is going to take the whole show.
Negative.
Anyways, not approximately, just about 4 years ago. Well, that's approximately. Anyways, I realized that was the moment when I had the epiphany that mindset is everything, right? The fundamental problem that we have is mindset. I came to that conclusion. In that same space and time, it dawned on me that I needed to do something about this, right? That this was my mission and that I could help to create change. The plan came to me same time too. Where to do, where to start with schools and so on and so forth. I got to work, I thought about it, thought it through, got a friend on board, and then I was gonna approach some schools to start a mentorship program. I was doing I was working I was working with a company, not a call center, but I was working with a company and I did customer service with them. And they have like a 20-hour shift, a 20-hour work day. So my shift changed and that sent things out of whack. So no, I no longer had my mornings to that I could go and do that. That's when that happened. So that got backbenched, and then some things happened in my life, and I almost died at one point. And I remember laying on my bed one day, and I was like, God, why I'm still here? Because this would not have been my first experience that I could have died, right? So I was like, why am I here? And the mission came back to me, right? It just came back to me. And about a month later is when I started my YouTube channel. And then I gradually got into the field. The first thing I did, launching myself out there as a coach, was I created what was called a 30-day happiness challenge, which is what this book, if you can see that, that's where this book came from. A 30-day happiness challenge. That was one of the first things that I did as a coach. But even when I just went out there and I started all of that, I still did not have enough faith in myself. I still didn't have enough belief in myself. I knew what I needed to do, and I was fresh on the scene. There was a lot of people talking a lot of things, and I would listen and I grab here and there, but I still wasn't there yet. And it took me coming full 360 to the realization of who I am as an individual, right? And the role that I have to play in all of this before I was able to publish my book, right? Despite all the naysayers saying, what are you doing that for? You're being selfish, or you're all about you, or you're this, or this is not sustainable, or this is not. And now I'm at a point where the more they say, oh, that's not going to work, is the more I say, oh, watch me, I'm going to make this happen, and then you're going to see this happen. But it takes, first you have to recondition your mind.
Stop right there, because you're dropping gems. You're dropping some major gems. So one of the things that you said that was very clear was that you had to change your environment. Very clearly. You had to change your environment. You had to change how you viewed yourself. You had to recognize what was within you. Then you had to change your mind. Those are powerful nuggets. I hope you guys are catching this. Because in order for you to monetize your genius, you have to figure out what that genius is and be comfortable with it when nobody else is. That's exactly what I just heard you say.
Yep. And then I made some like major changes because I was dedicated to make this to make my life different, right? Because I wasn't happy with the way my life was either. So I made some major changes. I started working out. I was getting up 3 o'clock in the mornings because I have kids to go to school. So, and I was working at the time. And this is the mindset change part here. I get up 3 o'clock in the morning so that I could work out, I could read, I could journal, I could meditate, I could do my yoga, and I got my diet clean. I did water fast. I did 3-day fast. I did intermittent fasting. I cut out flour, sugar, rice, baked stuff. And that is the amazing thing about that. And this is why I call myself an alignment coach. That cleaning up plus the mindset work and the meditation, it didn't just clean up my mind, it cleaned up my spirit and it cleaned up my body.
Stop right there. What was, because she dropping nuggets. Listen, this is one we're going to replay during our time off. Then we'll talk about that later. But one of the things that you just said, I don't think people feel comfortable with doing that deep dive within themselves to see what needs to change in order to bring alignment so they can shift.
Yep.
And understanding, and this is so freaking crazy. I just changed my Facebook cover picture to an affirmation I created years ago, but it spoke to me because a lot of us need to understand that the shift starts with you. Nobody else can make you shift. And what I heard is that you had that I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I need to do something different. Doing the same thing over and over is making me super insane, not just normally insane, like superly insane. And superly probably in a word, but it is now, and put my picture next to it. Because that's what you just said. Like, you got tired of being this person that you knew didn't fit you.
Yep.
Oh, I hope y'all listening. Pause for the cause.
Yeah.
Growth spurt. Jump in. Let me tell you, Michaela, I have seen this woman grow within the past year, and it's been so freaking dope to see how she has shifted her life. And when she says she's the growth spurt, baby, that's not just the title. She has learned how to shift her mind to leap and really launch into the things that she wants to do. So I know you got some gems, because God has you in quite that place right now where you right. Come through. Look, I don't want to tell you a story. I just you talk about it. Come through.
Well, no, everything that Sharika said is exactly where I was. I knew that there was way more out there than what I was doing and what I was giving, what I was being, what I was doing. I knew there was more. But I felt like I was stuck. I felt like I had to go to work every day because I needed the insurance. I needed these things. No, I don't need those things. No, not at all. So for me personally, I went by my feelings. Once I stopped with the mind talk of what I needed, I just kind of was still and was like, what do I feel? And that's when everything started to shift and change. Like, I was feeling a certain kind of way about my job, so I had to let it go. I was feeling a certain kind of way about my living situation, so I had to dip out and move. That's why I'm in a hotel room now. But that's a whole nother story. But honestly, like Sharika said, I felt like we were in a mind war. And that's what I like to call it. It's a mind war, because I see it everywhere. And, you want to help, but then sometimes you start talking things, to certain people, and they look at you all weird, like, what the fuck is she talking about? What you talking about? A mind war. She don't know what the hell she talking about. That's exactly what's going on. And once I realized that, it was an easy shift for me, because I knew that there was more. I could feel it. And again, this whole COVID thing definitely was the catalyst to it. And I just said, F it. I'm going to quit. I'm going to move. I'm going to do this. I'm going to find a different job. So, yeah, it was scary as heck. But I went by faith and I went by my feelings and I listened. So, with that, it takes a deep dive because trust me, when you talk about shifting the mind, you know how many times I had to cuss myself out? And people probably be like, okay, this bitch is crazy. No, no, you do it too. You just don't want to admit that you do it.
That part right there.
And
We
so
might not cuss, but we might say some pretty harsh words to ourselves that,
all the
I
time,
mean, it helps us shift. Yeah.
yes, ma'am. But that's what it was for me. It was my feelings. It was listening to my body. What is my body telling me? Do I like to be in this situation that I'm in right now? Am I happy? Am I aligning with my soul? So for me, that's what it was. It was my feelings. How does my body feel? How do I feel in this situation? And if it was not positive, then I just had to let it go. And that's what I've been doing, just letting shit go.
You know what?
Right. Just letting it go.
You're saying a whole lot. And for those of you who might be tuning in, hey, welcome. Vault Talks Women Share. We're talking about how to recognize and monetize your genius. And the three of us, we're all in this place and space where we're learning exactly who we are, whose we are, learning how to take these deep dives to really take a chance on ourselves based on what we know to be true. Yet our brains protect us from taking leaps. And one of my girls, like, I want to meet her in person one day. Her name's Mel Robbins. You guys look her up. One of the dopest people on the face of this planet. And she talks about how the brain literally protects us from making decisions. And so when we say that we want to do some of these big, huge things, our mind is conditioned, built, created to protect us. And so we have to understand that we serve such a God that will say, leap anyways, do it anyhow. And she has this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 system that she talks about when it's time to make some big decisions, literally count backwards and then just do it, just leap into it. And so we're talking about how to recognize and monetize your genius. And we started off the show basically talking about what's going on in our world right now. And if you pay attention to the news at all whatsoever, even just a little bit, you will see that a lot of people are starting their own wave of entrepreneurship, whether it's doing Lyft full time, Uber full time, whatever that looks like. They're creating their own schedules, which that allows for them to tap into their genius even more, to make that time to create the business, the nonprofit, whatever's been on their hearts for years. One of the things that we're talking about is how do you recognize and monetize your genius? And one of the things, if you're just joining us, if you've been with us, one of the reoccurring themes that both the mind reset strategist and the growth spurt both said in their own words was personal development. Personal development has helped them to understand how to make these leaps, how to understand who they are, how to recognize what to build, when to build, what to stop, when to move, because they now have reprogrammed or started the process of reprogramming their mind. And let's talk about that for a second. I call myself the identity architect as I help people to figure out that blueprint, that life blueprint that we've all been given, but life happens and we shift in these different directions and we forget about the blueprint. And sometimes we just need to dust it off and go back to that. And so one of the things that we all talk about in our own right, meaning Sharika and Michaela, understanding when it's time to leap, understanding those things that we like and love to do and how to monetize off of them. So, for instance, the growth spurt. all things insurance, all things underwriter, but her personal journey, her self-development has led her to be this coach. So, what are those things within you, ladies and gentlemen, just in case there are some guys who may be watching Vault Talks? What is it that thing that you would do for free? That thing that lights you up? That thing that, you know, when you're on the job and they ask you to do such and such and such because you have the skill set to do that, that you can take that thing and implement it and build it to monetize within your own world. I know for me, I realized that I was an architect, not a real architect, building mausoleums and building the Eiffel. No, that's not what God has called me to do. But I can build. And it came from when I was a little girl, when I would have to put things together. They would give me the instructions. I would look at it for 2.5 seconds and then I'd figure it out on my own. Or and I've been realizing this over the years. Like, I'm the type of person. Have you ever like broken a heel off of a shoe and you're like, oh, I'll just get it fixed because it can get fixed instead of throwing it away? That's because that's who I am. I realize that it can be fixed. And when you realize issues can be fixed, that's a way to build. Anyways, long, drawn out story. But one of the things that I want us to talk about tonight is just probing all of you guys with some questions. If you are stuck in a place of figuring out what you want to do with your life, think about what you're good at. Know who you are, meaning just because somebody else around you may be doing it doesn't stop you from doing it. And that is a hard, huge pill to swallow. You ever gone to the doctor and the doctor prescribes you some pills and they're like horse pills, like they're super big and huge, and you're like, I am not taking this. This is gonna hurt to swallow this. That was before we actually got pill cutters. That's something like new age to me. Like, oh, we're just gonna slice the pill. No, growing up, you're gonna swallow that big old horse pill and you're gonna shut up. So that's what it's like to really figure out that your ideas can be your ideas no matter who else is doing it, because I call it the secret sauce. There's a secret sauce that we have within what we do because of who we are. And so we have to move out of that mindset. So some of you guys literally have the power to monetize your genius, and you're the reason why you haven't done that, because you're so stuck on, well, somebody else is doing that. So let's talk about that. What is some advice that you would give? Let's start with Michaela. For somebody that says, I have an idea of what I'm supposed to be doing, but there's so many people out here doing it. What would you say to them?
First, I would say that nobody can do it the way you could do it.
Right.
There's only one of you. So I had to tell myself that, because, there's all kinds of coaches. Like, there's two right here. How am I going to be a coach? There's already, you know what I mean? But I bring my own little twist and flair to it. You know what I mean? They ain't going to say it the way I say it. They going to say it the way they say it. So just knowing you, knowing who you are, knowing what you bring. And, for me, I had to keep my eyes on that bullseye. Like I said, I'm a Sagittarius, so I'm the archer. So I see what I want and I go for it. I shoot my. That's just me. I was born that way. Some of us aren't born that way, and I get that, but it's okay because you could learn how. And it definitely takes you to know yourself. Know what you like. Know what you don't like. Know what you're capable of doing. Know what your competition is doing. Heck, I've been stalking people. I said it before. I'll be looking and be like, oh, okay, I see how she do that. Okay, all right. Okay, that's some good pointers. And you can't hate. That hating part and that jealousy part and all of that, hey, no, that's not gonna work. So if that's what you're looking at, I'm sorry, you can't do that. You can't, you're never gonna get anywhere that way. I'm sorry, I said it first, you're not going to. So definitely know yourself. Journal. Journaling definitely got those ideas out of my head on paper. Asking yourself those hard questions, how did I improve today? What could I have done differently today than I didn't do yesterday? What are some things that I failed at today? Just realizing that we're not perfect and it's okay. It's okay, because I ain't never gonna be perfect, because that's not what. There's no such thing as perfect, but it's all right. So just know yourself. Take some time. Write it down if you need to. Get those thoughts on paper and pray about it.
That's rich. You said a whole lot. I love when you said, um, what are other people doing? And that's that whole competitive advantage, knowing your competitive advantage, um, shopping the market, knowing what other people are doing so you aren't doing the same thing. Or if you are, you're putting that Michaela twist on it. And so you said knowing who you are, very important. People sometimes run from doing the work to understand who they are because Sharika said it in our back chat, vision. Vision can scare you. Vision can make you say, no, good. I'm deuces. I'm going to stay in this place of dysfunction because at least I know around day 294, it gets a little better for a couple days. And then before all the chaos and hell breaks back out. Some people are so used to their cycles of dysfunction where it keeps them in a place from launching out because they're just so used to everything else that they do. And so you said a whole lot. And listen, I pray that you guys go back and watch this. Sharika is going to make sure that you do. And so, Sharika, go ahead and share your insight on this. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all something about Sharika. When Sharika's eyes get all low, like they are, that means she meditating, like she marinating. Like that means when she come out, she going to come out with them nuggets. So y'all get ready for them nuggets because them eyes been dropping. She relaxing and she's listening. She ain't falling asleep.
Huh? No, it's those downloads.
Yeah. She ain't sleep, y'all. She listening and because at first I was like, when she first started becoming a part of the show, I'm like, dang, she bored. What's going on? Why she sleep? What's going on? She had a long day. What's wrong? But I get it now. It's just her way of like, I got you. I get you. So go ahead, look.
Yeah. Identifying your own little magic, your own genius, it can be tasking, but there's one thing that we have to do first before we can even start this journey, and that's heal. We have to heal first because that pain is covering up your destiny. It's covering up your superpower, and because it's in the way, it's like wearing blinders. You're not able to unearth your magic because you're in pain, and the pain is blocking you, the pain is covering you up. So that's step one. Heal, right? Man, my step one was quite a journey. I cried on my carpet in my living room in the early, those 3 o'clock in the mornings that I was getting up and I was working out. It was fun and it was heartfelt and it was deep. And I cried a lot, especially when it comes to letting go of the past. And that's when you let go of those things, that's when you can truly come into yourself and you can be grateful for them, because now you can see that it was painful, but man, was it revolutionary. It was there was a lesson in there. There was something in there that was for you. So the healing is paramount. And then Michaela mentioned mind wars earlier, and I wanted to like put my hand up and say me. Because I remember earlier in my journey, I used to do affirmations every single night. I had them on my bathroom mirror. And I remember one night I was going through a particular transition. It was the finding my voice period, like speaking up and coming out and continuing with my videos. And I remember one night I was doing my affirmations, and as I started my affirmations, I could not speak. It literally felt like there was a tug and war within me, and it was a matter of, okay, deciding or wrestling or saying, I am going to say these affirmations and you're going to leave me alone. It was something, but I could not speak, and I stood there in front of the mirror and I breathed and I completed my affirmation, and it blew my mind. I even made a video about it. I have a video called Mind Wars, because this mindset work, it's no joke. You're fighting with the two you have the angel with the fork, the red angel. If you've seen that cartoon, you have the red angel with the fork on one shoulder representing the devil, and you have the white angel representing an angel. That's what's going on in your head on a daily basis. So you have to do that mindset work, and then you come to a point where you're gonna have to say, I love these people, but I can't listen to them. I can't listen to them, because you know, after you've gone through this process, after you've done the work, you know what God has given you, right? And if you choose to listen to the people around you who don't understand your vision, you're gonna let yourself down. And if you let yourself down, you let God down. That's it.
She said, "That's it." Like, I said what I said. Mic drop.
But it's true. It's true.
It is. I love these conversations because we don't have enough of them. A lot of people are trying to figure out what their purpose is. And I think sometimes when we hear those words, like, what is my purpose? It's scary. It's intimidating. We feel like it should just come to us like boom. And that is not it. It takes that work. It takes shifting your circle. Like 2018, I will never forget for many reasons. I met my amazing boo thing in 2018, but that was also the year, if I didn't change my circle, I wouldn't have met him either. That was the year I started hanging around different people because I started to awaken to the things that were in me. 2017 was the year I started my business. 2018 was like, I need to start building this thing. It's real cute to say that I have a business, but how am I building it? I can't build unless I'm around the right people. The right people always can't be my family members because they think I'm nuts for stepping out and doing what I'm doing because I talk about what, growing up, what goes on in the house, stay in the house. That thing is shattered to me. No, I don't do that. I share what I went through from my lenses, my perspective, my feelings, because I want people to understand you're not alone in this thing called life. And so 2018 was that shifting where I started to hang around millionaires that didn't dress like what I thought millionaires would dress like. Like my whole mindset on how I viewed wealth started to change because I started to put myself intentionally in these circles with other people. I started to understand what personal development really meant. Personal development to me always meant the physical. I didn't think about the mental. The mental was far from my mind. And to realize I was still on my job, but God was transitioning me off the job. And so to understand that God took the job, allowed for me to fund the business because of the job. But he's like, listen, I'm about to take this away and I'm going to need you to be okay with this. And that's why I was like, okay. I saw it, but I didn't want to receive it. That's a whole word right there. You can see it, but you don't want to receive it. And so I realized that I had to change my mind to embrace these people I was around. Like, I think that was the thing that really shocked the hell out of me. Like, there's people out here, like, for real, living their dreams, and their name ain't Oprah Winfrey, Grant Cardone. Like, there's real people that look like me, sound like me, act like me in some way.
That part.
That part, it was a whole mind shift. And there's still times where when I look at everything that God has given me, given those around me, for me to help them, for them to help me. It's mind-blowing because God is really grooming us to be who he said we were going to be, period. And we have to continue to do this work in between our ears because this mind is indeed war ground. It's a battlefield for real. And when we can start shifting the way that we think, it shifts the way that we act, it shifts the way that we receive, it shifts the way that we talk, it shifts where we go, it shifts what we don't say, it shifts how we move, it shifts how we dress. Like, I had someone say to me, "You're going to a meeting like that?" And I was like, "Yeah, why? What's wrong? You got a problem?" It was a t-shirt and some jeans. They're like, "Well, you about to be in a room with other people." I'm like, "But this is who I am." There's times where you dress the part, but there's times where you can be like my millionaire mentor at the time. He wore a t-shirt that was his brand and some gym shoes and some black jeans, and you wouldn't even know he was a millionaire. So we have to be very intentional about what we're doing in order to monetize our genius. What are you listening to? What podcasts are you listening to? What are you listening to on YouTube University? There is this amazing guy, and Michaela, I know you know him because I see you in his room sometimes on Clubhouse. Because I can't think of his name. Global. What's his first name? You know who I'm talking about. Yes. It's all things shifting your subconscious. And it's literally, there's so many people who fall asleep listening to him. Real talk. Like, I hopped in a room at 2:00 in the morning. Daraj Global. Thank you. And it's I am statements or reading Earl Nightingale's books on audio books, like just information to change this thing right here. Because everybody has a childhood. Let's talk about that for 2.5 seconds. Everybody has a childhood. People fail to realize that the seeds that were planted within our childhood are still within us. They're part of those roots. That's why we move the way we move. That's why we do what we do. And we have the power to kill those roots and plant new seeds. That's why it's so important who you're hanging around with. Do you realize your gift can be monetized? Anybody who has a gift, it can be monetized.
And everybody has a gift.
That part. Start with doing the work to figure out what your gift is. If you don't like the word purpose, try the word gift. You got one.
Your gift is usually something that you didn't even think it was a gift because it comes so easy.
Yeah. Easy peasy. And so, listen, we hope that this information has soaked in to your mind, that you are now, taking some time and saying, how can I apply this knowledge to my life? What is it that I can literally recognize that I can monetize? Well, that was good. What can I recognize that I can monetize? Come on here. We're gonna do this live stream event, y'all. The three of us.
You can monetize that statement.
That's where dope came from. Directed on purpose every day. Listen, we have these catchy sayings within us. We have to believe that there's power within what we're doing, even our gifts. Come on, y'all. We gotta believe it first. And I'm at a place, and I don't know if it's because if I turned 40 or what, I really am learning more and more the power to not care what people think. I don't care who you are. You can get it. Like, you get it. You get it. You get it. I don't care who you are. Do you hear me? I don't care how close you are to me. I don't care.
It's not 40 because I'm right there with you. And I'm not 40 yet, so it's not 40.
I don't know. It just some bright, huge light shine on me, and I'm like, oh, that's what it feels like. Mm-hmm. And there's a residue. There's some people who can poke at me and I'll start to care, and then I realize, nope, I'm not. I'm on the process of not.
Mhm, mhm,
You
mhm.
know, like remember when when we were little kids, like stranger danger. That's how I feel. Like, oh, hold on, I have a choice in the matter. Oh, okay, you're close, but no. And
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
we have to make
It's not
decisions.
40. It's when you get to that place that then you realize, man, I'm a child of God. I am
Woo!
I have this greatness within me. And if God made me, He made me to succeed. And if He gave me this vision, then it must come to reality. And then you go, okay, if you say that if I do what you want me to do, this is not gonna happen. And you say, and you get to a stage where you say, okay, even if I'm homeless, I know God's gonna take care of me, and that's that. You're done. It's
Mm.
not 40, it's just the realization.
Well, I realized when I turned 40 that I got some decisions that I can be like, oh, and sleep at night real good and not care.
Content. That part. The
Mm.
contentment.
Peace, peace. I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna let you guys go around and share. I didn't have a laptop cord for a couple of days, and the Lord just took me on a whole man. It was crazy. It was a crazy roller coaster ride, and I just had to realize some things. I'm gonna write an ebook about it because people need to understand the power of disconnecting.
Mm.
There's power
Mhm.
in the disconnect. Now, when you think of when we plug in something to a source, it's to give us power, right? Like we plug in our charger in the wall so our phone can charge. But what
Mm.
God showed me was the power of not having a laptop cord means that I couldn't use my laptop, but there was power in the disconnect. And we need to understand how to disconnect so we can realize that power and that strength that's already within us. And instructions come when we realize the power and the disconnect.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
part.
that part. And even disconnecting ain't even just with that. Disconnecting can be from people. Understanding the power of disconnecting from people. Understanding the power of disconnecting from ideologies that have been a part of your whole life because that's what mama taught you, that's what grandma taught you, that's what great grandma taught you. And you're like, well, where is this getting me? I'll wait.
Yeah.
So let's hear from you, Growth Spurt, what you got for the people before we leave.
Mm. I'm been on this journey for a while now. Before COVID hit, I was really on this. I don't even know what you want to call it. Self discovery. I don't know. Spiritual journey. I don't know what you want to call it. But I was on this journey, and I remember my son asking me, "Well, don't you think you doing too much?" Because like I changed everything, like Sharika said. I started to wake up at a different time. I was working out. I stopped eating meat. I was meditating. I was doing my affirmations, and I had my sticky notes on my mirror too. I was saying them in the mirror, doing all that stuff, and listening to different music while I sleep to help reprogram my mind. I was doing it all. And I remember my son's like, well, aren't you doing too much? Well, like, what are you doing? And I just remember looking at him and I go, I'm cocooning. I'm turning into a butterfly. So sometimes we go through stuff like that and we don't know why we're going through it. And at the time, I had no idea why. I was just listening and following. But now I see. So that's all I got to say.
Sharika, did she really just drop that like that? See, this is all I got to say after saying a whole lot. I'm just saying. Did she just do that?
Yeah, she did
Okay.
that. She did that. And it made me think of she uses a butterfly. I still use a phoenix. I still use a phoenix. Even a few days ago I had it on my profile. It's in my Instagram. I When I started my journey, I did a whole lot of things as I said, but I really turned my life on its head, shifted a whole lot of things. And a lot of other things shifted away from me in painful ways. But I want to drop this point because sometimes we go through things and we spend so much time ruminating and thinking about how much pain we're in that we miss completely the point of the pain. From that pain, the phoenix rose. From that pain, the phoenix rose. I literally, even though I was on this journey before and I had done so much mindset work, and the amazing thing about that mindset work is it gave me the tools to go through the pain. It allowed me to let go of the pain, right? And that's why I say sometimes we spend so much time in the pain that we miss the whole point of the pain. But from the pain came the phoenix. From that pain come a massive amount of love and appreciation for myself. From that pain came this massive amount of love and appreciation for other people. I was able to love unconditionally. I was able to love anybody no matter what they were going through, no matter what they looked like. That pain brought the phoenix. Like I literally rose from the ashes through that pain. So trust your pain. Relax in your pain. Feel the pain. Scream, cry, shout, bawl, holler, whatever you need to do. But when you've done all of that, relax and say, God, why am I here? You know, forgive it all, let it go. Don't make it so significant because it really isn't. You've gone through it, it's hurt. That was yesterday, and today is a new day. It's a time for you to rise, time for you to step into your purpose, time for you to believe in yourself, it's time for you to become the person that you're meant to become. And trust me, you were not made to fail.
Mm.
You were not made to fail. You were not made to be a footstool. You were not made to be walked on. You are literally a child of God. You are phenomenal and
Mm.
magnificent and extraordinary. You are not made to fail.
This is why I love y'all so much. You guys share from your heart, your mind, your personal experiences. You guys truly tap in. You guys hear what God's telling you to share, and we need that. And so, this is what Vault Talks Women Share is all about. So many things I could say, but so many things have already been said. So, for those of you who may just be tuning in, you haven't missed much because we have the replay. Go check out our YouTube channel. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Here it is right here. Check us out on YouTube. We're here for you. We share our elements within our own lives, within our own journeys, because we understand the power of sharing. We understand that's what the power of speaking from the vault. That's what Vault Talk is all
Mm.
about. Is having the courage to share because I don't care who you are. We all go through things. And a lot of times we feel like we have to keep silent because no one's going to understand. I don't want to dump on people. That's way too much to share. People going to think I'm crazy. No, this is that platform where we speak from inside our vaults and we pull out those nuggets and those gems to share with you guys week after week after week after week. So, like I said, if you missed any portion of this, you need to hear it on replay over and over and over. We're on YouTube. We stream directly to YouTube every single week. You can follow us on our Facebook page. If you need anything, you can email us. The email address is scrolling across the screen. You can follow us on Instagram here. Listen, we got you. But one of the things that we need for you guys to take away is no longer choose to be asleep on the gifts that are resting inside of you, waiting to be ignited so you can help yourself and help other people. So next week, let me share with you guys what we're doing. So it's the summertime. You know, we understand you guys want to kick it, y'all want to have fun. So what we're gonna do next week, we're gonna wrap up the show for the next for about 2 months or so. We're gonna do some pop-up shows here and there. We're still building the Roku channel, so you guys will be able to catch us there. Pay attention to what we're doing. We're going to be sending you guys stuff either on Instagram or in our personal stories so you can keep up with us. So our next show next week, all things singleness. Let's talk about it. I had a conversation with a friend of mine tonight, and I had another conversation with a woman earlier this week. That thing keeps coming up where, oh, I'm single, I want my mate. And you're like, hold on, Kimosabi. Slow down. Wait, sis. And make sure that there's some things within you that are ready to receive that mate and to really work this thing called single, because it's a beautiful journey. And so we're going to talk about that next week. We have some guests that are going to come on next week. I have one special guest I'm still working on bringing her in. She's a relationship expert, super dope at what she does. But if you guys haven't taken anything away from this week's topic, do the work to dig deep to figure out what is it that you want to monetize that's already inside of you, and start connecting with the people who can help you make it happen. With that being said, join me tomorrow morning, if you will, ladies, for Breakfast with the Girls. It is an amazing networking component that the wonderful, talented Roberta Knox has invited me to, and Sharika has been there a couple times. Breakfast with the Girls, it's really fun. What we do is we network. We literally network with one another. We support one another. As women, we need to do that more. And this is that safe place where we literally, breakfast is us being fed by one another. Literally. We walk away like, oh, girl, I'm full, and having a really great time. So Breakfast with the Girls, you can register. I'm going to go ahead and throw the link up really quick. Zero to Strong is my friend's business and organization. And if you go right here to sign up for the event, zerotostrong.org/events, you will get the Zoom link for tomorrow. It's at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. Yes, it's early, but it's worth it. We're there for about an hour of power, and then you can go on with your merry day. But it's definitely a way to meet women. We have women in DC. We have women in Texas. You name it. We have women all over the nation that come week after week to be fed by one another. So it's a beautiful thing. So see us next week. Vault Talks Women Share all things singleness. Invite a friend. Be prepared to interact with us. We're excited about what we do on this platform, and we want you guys to be excited too. So any closing words, ladies? Anything else you want to say?
I think I've downloaded all of it, but this one thing I'd have to say is remember who you are. Remember who you are.
That's good. See, I told you she don't be asleep, y'all. She be downloading. All right, Growth Spurt, you got anything else before we head out?
She said it. Remember yourself. Know thyself.
Know thyself. Amen. All right, y'all. Fall Talks Women Share. We out. Peace, love, and hair grease.